Hi everyone, this is Dr. Liza Seigido. Welcome to Cigar Box Guitars Off-Grid. I am going to bring my setup out here. Okay, so today we're going to listen to my acid slider acoustically, but just because we're off-grid doesn't mean we can't electrify a cigar box guitar. I have my Joyo travel amp with me and we'll hear the guitar both ways today. Let's see. Okay. I might bring you guys a little closer when I play my guitar, but for now, just enjoy the view. I got a beautiful fallen oak behind me. Hurricane brought this guy down last year. All right. Got my Joyo amp all charged up. This is a very reliable, extremely reliable travel amp, folks. I do have it linked in the video description box. And I've connected it to its foot pedal. It does come with a foot pedal to operate a looper. And I've been practicing with the looper lately and have been able to come up with some really cool stuff that I can showcase during craft markets. I seriously thought that spring was over in North Florida. We have been experiencing drought for many weeks and it's been very, very hot. But after today's rain, the temperature dropped severely to the point where I need one of these again. So it's kind of comfortable to stream out here today. When it's a little bit chilly, there aren't any mosquitoes buzzing around, so that's a plus. Welcome to an atmospheric area on my homestead in a secret location in North Florida. And welcome to the first official episode of Cigar Box Guitars Off-Grid. I'm going to adjust the camera here a little bit so you could see the entire guitar while I'm playing. By the way, folks, if you want to support my art, my work, check out all the links in my video description box. You can buy me a cortadito if you just want to send a one-time donation, or you can sponsor a future video. You can buy my laser carved cigar boxes. I sell apparel with designs featuring cigar box guitars that I've actually built. Or you can custom order a cigar box guitar, custom build from me. Those are, and also I do have affiliate links in the video description box. Since we're off grid, the link that's featured in the video description is that of my battery powered portable Joyo amp. The primary way you could support my work is just watch my videos, participate in my lives, and share your favorite videos with friends. That is the primary way to support my art. And so anyway, let's get to playing some music, right? If you want to participate in the chat, folks, you can subscribe to my channel, and after 10 minutes you will be able to participate in the chat. That's just an easy way I moderate the chat. As you see, I'm a one-woman band out here and don't have a chat moderator, so that's a way that I control things. We only want people who are interested in what's really going on in the chat. And so yeah, so if you want to participate, you got to make that commitment. You got to subscribe to the channel, and within 10 minutes you'll be able to participate in the chat. Alrighty. Okay. Let's see if you guys can see the guitar. I will angle it down a little bit more so you guys can see what's going on. Getting squared away here, folks. Haha. A little more this way. I like to be centered. Here. All right, this guy needs some tuning. You know, playing these instruments outdoor, you really notice that steel strings are really susceptible to temperature changes. And so I will probably be fiddling with the tuning throughout to make sure you guys are getting not perfectly tuned, but nicely tuned cigar box guitar music. Hey Chocho. That's my kitty Chocho. It's about 9 years old. Hey Boosh. What's going on? You want to go inside? I can't take you in right now, my poop. Anyway. What is it, Bill? If he becomes too persistent, I'm gonna have to take him in, folks. Let's see what happens. Maybe he'll sit down and listen to some CBG music with us. All right, let's get this thing tuned. This is my Do. I'm using 151 tuning, Do, Sol, Do tuning. Better. I'm gonna have to probably adjust that throughout the session because, again, these steel strings are very, very susceptible to temperature changes, and they become a little erratic when I'm outside. How's the CBG coming through to you guys? Should I get closer to the mic? You let me know. I'm not going to plug it into the amp just yet. I want to do a little bit of playing unplugged. Rency, welcome. Oh, Rency says, love that cigar box. I have a friend in Florida. He can bring one of your CBGs to Argentina. Love your work. Hey, yeah, let's talk, Rency. Shoot me an email. I would love to coordinate that. So cool. Rency, by the way, folks, he is a virtuoso bassist who is also a cigar box guitar enthusiast. Please click on his avatar and check out his channel. Sub if you like his work. Hey, Scott! Dehontology, welcome to my channel. Okay. Let's play a little bit of off-grid, unplugged cigar box guitar. You know what makes a rustic CBG such as this one a great instrument to take out into the wild or to play on your front porch or to take camping? It isn't very loud. So you can go hardcore on this thing. You're not going to disturb your neighbors. You're not going to disturb other campers. You can noodle all night and you won't be bothering anyone. It's a quiet instrument. Later in the string, I will be plugging it into my travel amp so we get the best of both worlds off-grid, folks. Alrighty. So Scott, And people in the chat, do let me know how the sound is coming through for you. If you can't hear it well, I will move the CBG closer to my Zoom F1. So far great, says Scott. Awesome. Now I know what some of you are thinking. You're like, Liza, you're not muting behind the slide. Guys, I love the interactions of the string on both sides of the slide. You get a dirtier but richer sound. Thank you for reminding people to hit that thumbs up button, Scott. Really appreciate that. you, Scott. Really appreciate that. For those of you who are fans of George Frederick Handel and one of his most famous arias, Lascia Chiopian, I know that I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. When you hear the melody, you'll know what aria I'm talking about. It's from the opera Reynaldo, and you can actually play the first part of that aria with a fretless slider using only one finger in your left hand. Yep. Let me go ahead and play it for you guys. See if you recognize this too. Scott says, I wonder how installing electronic pickups would sound. Well, you're in luck, Scott, because this guy has a piezo pickup installed, and I do have my travel amp with me today. So, you're going to hear this guy plugged in as well, and I want to share something that I've been working on with my Joyo Amps looper with you guys. So stay tuned, Scott, stay tuned. Yep, my instruments are electroacoustic, and again, I use piezo pickups because I actually want to hear the character, the acoustic character of this box and neck and hardware come through when it's plugged into an amp. It has a great sound. Thank you, Scott. Thank you. This is one of my soprano instruments, meaning it's using the top 3 strings from an acoustic guitar set. I do have some baritones which use the lower 3 strings from an acoustic guitar set, and those have a completely different sound. They're definitely more grumbly. Thank you, Scott. Thank you. I really appreciate that. All right. I'm so glad I got the audio working on this. Let's play some Handel. I'll play it again. Oops, sorry. Hope you like that. A little tiny bit of classical music on a 3-string fretless slider. And again, that tune just played with one finger. The slide finger. Yep. Alrighty. Goodness gracious. It's getting cold out here. Wasn't expecting the temperature to drop so much after it rained. Don't get me wrong, I am glad we had some rain. The droughts were so severe out here that we were getting fires. So thank you, Scott. Okay, let's hear this guy plugged in now. Just because we're off grid doesn't mean we can't amp up this CBG. I got my trusty Joyo travel amp. I take this guy everywhere, to craft markets. It has to everything. It was even on stage with me at the Bradenton Cigar Box Guitar Festival. I was using it as an effects pedal when I was on stage. Yeah, comes loaded with effects, and it has a built-in looper. I got the foot pedal, foot switch plugged in. Let me show you what I've been working on. By the way, if you like the sound of this amp, folks, I do have it linked in the video description box. When you use my affiliate links, it helps me out a lot, and it doesn't cost you any more. Alrighty. So, I think it will sound better. My mic is on this side, so I will place the amp as close as possible to the mic. Here we go. I build with piezo pickups, folks, because I want to hear the character, the acoustic character of this instrument. You just don't get that with magnetic pickups. Magnetic pickups are amazing, though. You can turn any interesting object into a musical instrument with magnetic pickups, so long as you use conductive strings, or if the noise maker is conductive, you can turn that into a musical instrument with magnetic pickups. Magnetic pickups are quite amazing. But with Cigar Box Guitars, if you use magnetic pickups, you don't get any of the acoustic character from the box, from the neck, from the hardware. You get a clean sound. You absolutely do. So if you're building your guitar for yourself and you want clean sound, use magnetic pickups. But if you want some dirt, some grit, some noise, basically if you don't want to sound like an electric guitar, then you want to use piezo pickups. And I have a video about how to install, it's a tutorial, how to install piezo pickup and suggestions on piezo placement inside of your cigar box guitar. Where you place that piezo has a massive effect on the tone of your guitar. So play around with piezo placement. You may find something that's deliciously unusual that nobody else has tried. So that is the CBG through the amp. Should I turn it up a little? Box resonance is extremely important, especially if you're using piezo pickups. You're absolutely correct in that, Scott. And that's why when I build my CBGs, I try to keep the box as empty as possible, and I cut out a sound ditch in the neck. My neck is attached to the lid of the box, but I cut out a sound ditch in the neck so that there's nothing touching the soundboard that needs to resonate. And so, yeah. Now with magnetic pickups, you can shape the tone. It depends on what type of strings you're using, whether they're 80/20s, phosphor bronze, nickel wound. That will have an effect on your tone. What also has an effect on your tone with magnetic pickups is the distance your strings are from the pickup itself, and the type of magnetic pickups you're using. You're using a humbucker, you're using single coil. All of that has an effect on the tone of magnetic pickups. But again, clean sound. It's all electromagnetic induction. If you want to hear the acoustic properties of your instrument, if you want to hear more dirt, more grime, more something different, piezo, 27 millimeter or 35 millimeter. in my opinion, the size of the piezo, and I'm talking about the standard size, I don't mean the mini size. I don't think there's much of a difference if you between 27 and 35 millimeter piezos. What's more important is placement. So again, if you're building these guys, play around with piezo placement. All right. Turn this up a little more. Yeah, it's nice being out here with the birds when it's not hot and there are no mosquitoes flying around. Let's dirty up the sound a little bit with some distortion. Now that we're plugged into an amp, we can do that. We can do that. All right. All right, all right, all right, all right. Whoa. Okay. I got my most aggressive distortion set on the Joyo amp. I'm on the metal setting. Oh yes! I knew you'd like that, Scott. I knew you'd like that. All right, here we go. Scott, I love the emojis you're using. Awesome. Let me show you guys what I've been working on with the looper. Let me get the right settings on this. I'm gonna take this back to the acoustic setting, and I'm gonna put a little bit of flange on it. How about that? Acoustic, some flange, yes. Maybe a little reverb too. Why not? Yeah. So I got it on an acoustic setting. I have the flanger on, but I also have some space reverb on this. I love this Joyo amp. It's more affordable than the Roland guys, and it comes loaded with all of these effects. You could hear all of those effects working together. Now, those of you who are familiar with my Shorty CBG, hey DJ Play Nice! Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing out the live. I really appreciate that. And so those of you who are familiar with my Shorty CBG, the one with movable copper frets, I produced a video showcasing a picking pattern that I discovered on Shorty. And it works for any 3-string cigar box guitar or learner guitar. This is the picking pattern. It goes like this. Now that I'm paying attention to it, I can barely play it. Let me not pay attention to it. I can barely read your chat, DJ Play Nice. Let me pick up. Okay. DJ Play Nice says, y'all, now a good time to share out the show, send it to a friend, or post a bump on your own YouTube channel in the community tab. Thank you, DJ Play Nice. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, let me show you this 3-string learner guitar or 3-string cigar box guitar picking pattern. If I can play it, anyone can play it. I am not a guitarist, folks. Give this a shot on your 3-stringer. It's a very beautiful pattern. I'll play it slow and hopefully correctly so you can pick it out. So the pattern is basically, the rhythm of the pattern is 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and you're alternating between the thumb and any other one of your fingers. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and the thumb is traveling down all the strings. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and but the second finger stays on the top string like a drone. 1 and 2 and 3 and the 3 and both the thumb and the whatever other finger you're using, they're both plucking the last string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Aha. And so I recorded this pattern using the looper on my Joyo, and then I was able to pick out a really cool solo to play over it. And so here's the pattern that I'm gonna record onto my looper. Woo! Excuse me. The cold is making my nose drippy. It's not supposed to be cold anymore after getting so much hot weather up here in North Florida. I wish I could get that a tad bit louder. Let me see if I can do that for you guys. Yes! Okay, got it. Got it. Turned up the gain. Hopefully I won't get any feedback. You could hear the flanger working. let's get this pattern recorded. Working with a looper requires practice, and I don't have much practice, but I'm gonna try to pull it off here in the live. Stepping on this looper switch at the right time is crucial. You gotta turn on the switch. You gotta turn on the recording and turn it off just at the right time so that your loop sounds like it should. So, here we go. Here we go. Okay. Here we go, guys. Get ready. Okay, the loop, it's not perfect, but I can work with it. Okay, now I'm gonna switch this. I'm gonna remove the flange, and I'm gonna put it back on metal sound for the solo. I love those faces you're making, Scott. My Joyo amp just ran out of battery. I gotta charge my amp. Guys, I use that amp so much and the battery lasts so long. I forgot to charge it. I guess the amp forced the issue or forced the segment to happen a little bit earlier, but that's okay. I'll give you guys a tour of my homestead. We are on my homestead and out in the middle of nowhere in North Florida. And in the future, I plan to take you guys along to the neighboring springs I've always wanted to do some video work in one of our local springs, Peacock Springs. I don't know if I'll be able to stream there, but I'm gonna give it a good try. Let's see if the cell phone service will allow for a good stream at Peacock Springs. If not, I'll record a video and come on live. Sounded great, says DJ Play Nice. I couldn't play along very well. I was a half step or so out of tune from your CBG. DJ Play Nice, you were trying to play along? Well, the reason it was probably hard to tune to my CBG is because I tuned by ear. I didn't use a tuner. If you want to play along, I will tune to a proper A next time, so you could follow along with your instrument. Yeah, I know, right, Scott? I play Cigar Box Guitar. It's a rustic, at least my instruments are the rustic variety. Tuning doesn't have to be perfect. I don't even dampen behind the slide. I like those tingy interactions, you know? All right, let's give you the tour of the nature. This encoder that I'm working with actually allows me to flip the camera, which is very nice. Makes it easy to film and share. Let me show you around our homestead, folks. Perfection is the killer of creativity. You are absolutely right about that, Scott. That is so true. But it's been very liberating. It's been very liberating to let go of that need to only present yourself in the bestest of lights. So yeah, so I agree with you, Scott. Perfection is the killer of creativity. So let me flip the camera here. Everything is 5 times 5 today. Thanks for putting in the work behind the scenes yesterday to bring us along today for another live. Yeah, perfection isn't needed, Scott, but DJ Play Nice, but I do feel like a certain level of quality is required. And so I am so grateful to you and Scott and Renzi, to all of you who were there to help me troubleshoot yesterday. You guys led me to the right path. I found the right encoding software, the right settings to get this at least looking as beautiful and sounding as beautiful as I could off grid. DJ Play Nice, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for appreciating the imperfections of this stream. And well, at least you know I'm not AI, right? At least you know. With my produced videos, you know, I have the ability to make everything look and sound perfect, but it's here in my live streams that you know that I am not an AI person. Yes, quality is good, but don't obsess over being perfect. Allowing yourself to experiment without perfection can bring you to new places. 100% agree with that, Scott. 100%. Let's meet my cat, Chocho. Hi, Chocho. Were you enjoying the music? Yes, you were. You're a baby. You are a baby. Yes, you are. You're gonna take a tour with us, Boop? You're gonna take a tour with us? Let's take a tour, Jojo. Meow. You wanna go in and eat? Okay, let's finish the tour and then I'll take you inside. Come on. He's gonna be following me throughout the tour, folks. Don't worry, I'm gonna let him in soon and give him some wet food. I know that's what he wants. Yeah. Yep. So here, folks, Lawrence and I have sort of given up on creating a garden. Planting things up here on this homestead with the heat of the summer and the sandy soil, you have to spend hours in your garden getting things to work, and with all the projects that we have on hand, we just don't have the time. So but in letting things go, we've discovered that we don't need to garden. Nature is doing the gardening for us. Here we have a beauty berry. We have a ton of these beauty berry bushes throughout the homestead, and they do produce edible berries. Berries don't taste like much, but they're beautiful. They grow in clusters, and they're a beautiful magenta color. They come out later in the summer. I've used them to color my mead. They give my mead a nice rosé color. So again, berries don't taste like much, but they help to color your wine if you like fermenting things as I do. All right. This year my sparkleberry is fruited. Sparkleberry or farkleberry. These are the only type of blueberries that grow on trees. These are the only tree blueberry species there are. Let me see if I can get them in focus. Right now this tree is fruiting. We have a few of these trees on the homestead. And again, all of this is wild, folks. None of this was planted. North Florida, man, if you just let things go, nature will provide. Scott says, yes, you can raise maybe a specific favorite vegetable that you like. I had a very large garden growing up. Well, Scott, you certainly know more about gardening than I do. Lawrence and I are just learning. But again, gardening takes so much time. And I found that what grows wild on this homestead is so prolific that we don't have to worry about planting more fruit trees or things like that, because we got free leafage and free fruit happening in abundance throughout the homestead. Of course, not all year round. Although the maypop, their growing season is very long. The vines are pretty mature now. They're starting to flower, and they will fruit all the way until the beginning of the winter. And they bear fruit and produce tons of leafage that you can eat throughout that time. So yeah, if we were to, the thing is, again, gardening is a mission of its own. And what Lawrence and I are just doing right now, as we're trying to get our creative business up and running, we're focused on that. We're just letting the natural stuff come out, letting nature provide, and not interfering with it, and just making sure we harvest things and use them as fruits and vegetables become available naturally on the land. The things we have planted are perennials. Plant once and never plant again. So over here in our front yard, we do have Jerusalem artichokes coming out. I planted those 2 years ago, and They've come up again this year reliably, and I think this year we will be harvesting tubers from those beds for the first time. Yeah, so it's a set it and forget it thing. The other perennial that we've planted is sugarcane. And again, you put that in once in a spot that it likes, you never have to worry about replanting again. Scott says, I'm not familiar with Florida soil, so I don't know what grows there. Well, yeah. Well, here where we're at in North Florida, basically it's all sand. And if you want to grow tomatoes or eggplants or things like that, you need raised beds. And you need to constantly compost. And Lawrence and I don't do the chemical fertilizer stuff. We don't want to be killing the soil or eating those chemicals. So when we were trying to grow the typical stuff, tomatoes, eggplants, corn, all that stuff, man, the amount of composting, and we don't have worms in the soil, so it's not a these raised beds are not a self-sustaining system for things that are delicate like tomatoes, eggplants, potatoes and stuff. But the wild stuff, those maypop, those passion fruit vines, we didn't put those there. Those happen naturally. Oh, here, you could see them flowering. These are our wild passion fruit, folks. Oh, we do have a bamboo. Clumping bamboo here in the corner, DJ Play Nice. Yeah, that is, I forget. That is our other perennial. Now, you guys know why I'm growing bamboo, don't you? You can guess, right? I put this here so that I can make diddly bows and leg fiddles with this sometime soon. But I haven't harvested any of this bamboo. But yeah, this is a set it and forget it type thing. Just like sugarcane. And just like the Jerusalem artichokes. That is, if you plant them in a place that they like. I've planted some artichokes there in the front beds. They don't like it there. They didn't make it there. But they come up reliably in the raised beds in the front of the house. And so, yeah, these are our wild passion fruit vines, Passiflora incarnata. And we're just letting them take over the raised beds. And these are super useful because these are super useful because they produce fruit from now until the beginning of the winter. And in the meantime, while you're waiting for them to fruit, you can eat the leaves. And it's like a soft lettuce. And when you chew on this for a bit, it tastes like peanut butter. Let me show you. These are totally perfectly edible. I make salads with these. And yes, I have enough leafage to harvest and make a salad every day. I have so many of these. Just letting them come out. Let me flip the camera here so you guys can. The leaf of Passiflora incarnata. Locally, they're called maypop. They are tasty. They are tasty. Those of you who were with me yesterday got to see some of my wild grapevines. 2 types of grapevines grow wild on our property, folks, and muscadine grapes and pigeon grapes. Yep. But let me show you. Oh, this is our beautiful Granddaddy Oak Grove. This is the prettiest part of the property. I think the next stream I'll do underneath the Granddaddy Oaks. Those oaks are about 200 years old, my friends. What do they taste like? The leaves, Scott? The leaves of Passiflora incarnata, of the passion flower, when you crunch on it for a while, it tastes like peanut butter. It has a nutty flavor. The fruit itself is like a pomegranate when you cut into it, and you basically, when you open it up, you see seeds surrounded by a pod that's full of liquid. And when the passion fruit is semi-ripe, and it's very juicy, it tastes like lemonade. When it's fully ripe, it tastes like banana juice. I prefer my passion fruit when it's semi-ripe because I love sour stuff. I just love it. Here is something that's supposedly edible, but when I tried it one time, I almost passed out. It lowered my blood pressure a lot. This is pawpaw, but not the big pawpaw type, the small pawpaw type. I think the mistake I made was eating the fruit when it wasn't fully ripe. You're not supposed to do that, but I'm afraid to try it again. I've just been leaving this for the deer. Are you guys glad you moved there? Where did you guys live before? We lived in Miami before, Scott. And yeah, we're super glad we're here. 100% glad. Expensive, super expensive. Lawrence and I both worked 3 jobs over there, and just to maintain, just to be able to stay in our home over there. And financially we were treadmilling. And on top of that, man, it's a really aggressive city. I mean, driving in Miami is crazy. It's very, very stressful being on the road up there. It takes forever to get to a place. What should be a 5-minute drive will take you 15 minutes. And this is out in the suburbs. I'm not just talking about in the city. You're not permitted to do anything on your property over there because everything's in an HOA. If you're into freedom, Miami is not the place for you. I'm so glad we're up here. This is my sugarcane patch, by the way. This is our another set it and forget it perennial. And you guys know what I'm gonna do with this sugarcane, don't you? You guys know that I like fermenting things. You know what I'm gonna do with that. Excuse me. All right, let me take you to see my grapevines. That's what I came out here for, is to show you my my grapevines. So what I'm going to show you now are my pigeon grapes or summer grapes. And these guys, the grapes that they produce are not very big, but they're very juicy and they're sweet and tart at the same time. I love the flavor. Flowering, this particular vine has a lot of flowers on it. I'll be watching it closely. And when I see ripe fruit, I'm going to pick them. And hopefully I'll pick enough this year between them and the blackberries and other wild berries that we have around. Make a nice mead or a nice wine. I will for sure be fermenting passion fruit or maypop because we get a lot of those. A whole lot of those. Chucho, come on, Chucho. Oh, he's marking the plants over there. Oh, when we moved in here, we did put in some fruit trees, and they are producing. These are our pineapple pear trees, and these, I mean, we put in a whole mess of fruit trees. These are the ones that survived. These are our pineapple pears. And they got lots of baby pears on them. I'm excited. I'm hoping to make Perry this year. Perry is a mead made with pear juice. Why mead? Because we got a lot of people that keep bees, and I can buy local honey just about anywhere here. Raw local stuff. HOAs really have no place in America. I agree 100%, Scott. OMG. I can tell you stories, but that'll take this stream off into a very, very dark place. We've had some run-ins with our HOAs of the past, and let me tell you, I don't miss Miami whatsoever. I don't. Behind me, here's an apple tree that needs a pollinator. I do have some crabapple trees, but I don't think they flower at the same time. So I think this is either a Dorset or an Anna. I gotta get a Granny Smith or another crabapple here to help this guy produce some apples. But behind him, I have some sumac. Yes. So if you like Middle Eastern food, there's the sumac berries that I didn't harvest last season. Yeah, and I didn't plant this. This popped up wild on the property. And folks, this was the citrus before citrus was a thing in North America and Europe. Sumac grows here almost everywhere in North America, almost everywhere in Europe, in the Middle East. And Middle Eastern food, what they do is they take the berry and they remove the outer husk, and they separate the seed from the outer shell, and it's the shell that spices up your food. For me, that's too much work. So I do what the Native Americans did. I take the berry bunches and infuse them in warm water and leave it there for a day, and then you get this lemony liquid. This was the citrus before citrus. Any plans for an aviary? Right now, there are no plans except for, although Lawrence used to keep bees, and he's thinking about them because the wildflowers that come out here later are out of hand. I will give you a tour when our wildflowers are gorgeous, folks. Lawrence is thinking about it, but for now, I'm just keeping things simple. I told him, this year, mister, I'm just going to harvest my maypop. I'm going to be disciplined about harvesting fruit when it's ready, and I'm gonna make a ton of wine. That's what I'm gonna do this year. And again, this is passion fruit. We got a bunch of leafage. These are great in salads, folks. The leaves from the maypop or the wild passion fruit, they're really good. Lawrence put some trellises for them there. And I'm just allowing them to fill up the raised beds. And I think I mentioned yesterday to you guys, I'm looking for another wild vine that happens up here in North Florida that people like to get rid of. They think of it as a weed. I'm keeping an eye out for the citron vine, which produces a fruit that looks like a watermelon, but it's really a giant cucumber. And people get rid of the vine. It's like, oh, don't do that. It's not a weed. God, the things that happen up here naturally are so useful and tasty. Why get rid of them? Work with nature, please. Collaborate with it. You'll get more out of it. This, I think we put in this fig tree in year 3. And it produces a lot of figs in the fall. 2026 vintage prospects look great. He should. We need bees. He wants to. And I'm going to encourage him because I do make a lot of mead. And so rather than buy it, why not help the environment and also create our own honey? We should definitely keep bees. This persimmon is full of baby persimmon fruit. And when we planted this here, you guys know I'm repeating stuff from yesterday. This is just for the benefit of people watching and for people watching on the replay who didn't catch yesterday's stream. When we planted our store-bought persimmon, none of these wild persimmon were here, these American persimmon. They just happened they just germinated next to my store-bought persimmon. And what's great about that is that American persimmon require a male and female plant in order for the female plant to produce fruit. But this store-bought, this Japanese persimmon has both type of flowers, and so it can take care of my female persimmon if I have any here. I don't know if these are male or female plants, but I have quite a few American persimmon here. 1, 2, that tall one next to the tall sumac. And so all of this popped up and we just let it go because they produce fruit. And so it's crazy. Most of our citrus trees died, but we have sumac that just grew wild, so we don't really need the citrus. And the maypop, again, the passion fruit, when they're semi-ripe, the juice tastes like lemonade. So don't really need to grow citrus up here. Yeah, we're in the wrong climate zone for citrus, believe it or not. North Florida is kind of a mix of subtropical and temperate, and the winters get cold enough here to kill off most citrus. So Central Florida is the place for citrus. We're almost at the border with Georgia. It's a little too up north for most of the citrus varieties that you can buy here in Florida. All right. We got a huge. I'm jealous of your growing zone. You can grow almost everything. DJ Play Nice, we've tried to grow everything. When Lawrence and I first came here, we thought, oh, we're going to have this big, beautiful, edible garden. And we were fighting. The soil here is so sandy, and the summers here are crazy harsh. It's hard to grow anything here unless you're on top of it every day, and we just don't have the time. And again, we're moving more towards the permaculture the wild permaculture model. We've selected plants that do work well in the area, that will come up every season without replanting, and we have just allowed the wild edible stuff to do their thing. There's a ton of wild edible stuff that we don't even have to look at, that will produce us food. So we've stopped fighting with nature, and that's when things became easy. But yeah, at least where we're at, it's hard to grow anything that isn't native. But here we have the hugest patch of blackberry bushes ever. I don't harvest any berries from here because I'm afraid of the snakes. But we do have a patch that's, I guess, more user-friendly. I have a blackberry patch right next to the workshop that I'm not afraid to harvest from. So I'll be taking blackberries from there. But again, the fruit that I'm going to harvest the most is maypop. And I'm talking about basket loads. There's a vine in almost, there are maypop vines everywhere on this property. So it's kind of like an Easter egg hunt when I go harvesting maypop. And again, they produce fruit all the way until the beginning of winter when the plant goes dormant. Yummy, yes. They are yummy, Scott. I'm so grateful. What else do we have? Oh, we did put in elderberries. Lawrence and I did buy elderberry trees. And they produce reliably every year. But every year I forget to harvest the berries before something eats them. So I'm hoping this year I can get the berries, cook them, and make some good mead or wine with them. Yeah, they're kind of lining the border with my neighbor over there. Soil amendments is something I used to do a lot when I had landscaping company. We have really great soil here to start with, though. So while I envy your zone, I'm glad to be here. Yes. Yeah, guys. Yeah, here we tried to keep our hot composting up. Lawrence has a worm bin, but it's we haven't been able to get the soil to be rich enough to grow those tomatoes or anything else. But again, when we stopped fighting the place that we're in, we get things like this coming out, and they will eventually fill up these beds. And You might as well call us a passion fruit orchard, because that's what we're going to be in not too long from now. They just grow up from everywhere. And the fruit are delicious. I can't believe it, and it's weird. People who grew up in this area, they don't eat these plants anymore. They consider them to be weeds. There's some people that do, but a lot of people I've talked to is like, oh, they just rather have their lawns and I don't know. I do not know. Church, are you gonna follow me? You gonna follow me, my poop? He's enjoying the cool weather today. Hello. How are you doing, Churchill? How are you doing? Anyway. Well, I shouldn't speak disparagingly about people up here or my neighbors. To each his own. Do what you want. It's your property. But I just, man, when the Creator gives you a gift, why are you gonna reject it? Why are you gonna reject these passion fruit? Why are you gonna reject the wildflowers? Why are you gonna reject the citron? Why? Why are you gonna reject the grapes? That's just me, folks. Sandy soil doesn't grow a lot of different things. I had to haul black soil from my father's house for their garden. It made all the difference. Yeah, sandy soil is difficult, but again, you know, you may not be able to plant many things in the native soil here, but look what, there's so much that's already here that you can use. And again, we discovered this only because we were fighting with the soil for a long time. And it's only when we gave up, when we found out, look at all these beautiful things that are already here. Let's use them. Let's not reject them. We don't, you know, let's work with nature, not against it. And working with nature has been more productive for us. For us. DJ Play Nice says, I spent 5 full seasons helping friends establish their organic farmstead, permaculture, and building their food forest with long beds as well. Was really satisfying. We ran a CSA for several years before they decided to shift production, and then mostly did farmers markets. DJ Play Nice, that is super cool. Man, yes, regenerative farming and permaculture, I think that's the way of the future. We gotta start building up our soil again and keeping poison out of our food. Wow. I had no idea that I had so many like-minded people in the CBG community. Amazing. Amazing. Here are some grandiflora. The names of magnolias. Wild magnolias from my mom's homestead that I planted here. I haven't seen them flower yet. Here's a store-bought magnolia that I bought. I think this, don't remember what variety, but have only seen this one flower once. I'm not sure why they haven't flowered yet. Maybe they're just too young. This one isn't getting the nutrients it should be getting. But those I think are just too young. And I was sad to find out that I couldn't ever build a tree house on any of these granddaddies. It's apparently oaks that are this old are not good for tree houses. I was sad, but I'm glad to have them here anyway. They're gorgeous. I will do a stream under our granddaddy oak. I will do it. I didn't know this, but I was watching a video of this permaculture guy that informed me that oaks in Europe are actually endangered. I had no idea. New oaks are not germinating in Europe, and they're losing a part of their top trees of the forest. You're basically losing a piece of your atmosphere. I had no idea. So we're very lucky in the United States to not have that problem. Not sure what's going on in Europe with their oaks. DJ Play Nice says, I'm not surprised. Those of us in the arts are just wired differently and can usually think far beyond the obvious surface. We also see beauty and harmony with our senses differently. I agree with that, DJ Play Nice. Oh, that's my other cat, Frank. You guys met Frank yesterday. Let's say hello to him. Hey, Frank. Hey, Frank. How are you? You're hungry? Yes, all my kitties are hungry. It's almost their dinner time. All right, here's where we started. All right, let's do. All right, folks. So I hope you will join me for the next episode of I forgot the name of the stream. Oh, Cigar Box Guitars off-grid. I'll try to come out again tomorrow around the same time. And I will start the stream in a different location on the homestead with a different guitar. So, let's see what Scott says here. I've been listening more now because I got super hungry and I'm cooking. You're like my kitty, Scott. I made you hungry. DJ Play Nice says, thanks for bringing us along again today. It was great to hear you play and fun to get another walk tour. Have a great night and have an awesome weekend. Thank you, DJ Play Nice. Well, everyone, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Chaito. And I will see you in the next video.